Hey guys, it's me again. Are you excited to see what I did? Because I didn't do anything exciting. Is that what you wanted? You wanted me to provide a glossary for my language? You wanted it to be possible to translate? I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I hate all of you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get into character as Master Inkheart.
What a queer appearance in my domain! A missive from another time in another language. But where is the misterve? I'm Master of Inkheart, the last creature of this unlovely dead world. But back to the aforementioned missive. It is written in NEVS. North, East, West, South. Never, ever, NEVS is a cipher-type language spoken through English, using that language's semantic components as its own phonological components. I guess you could speak it through any other language, but the NE stands for New England. What else would they be speaking? French? Yeah, that actually does make the most sense. Doesn't matter. So in this language, the entire story about someone trying to get into politics and being hopelessly optimistic and naive is one word. What word? I don't know, because I haven't glossed it yet. So I've already transcribed it and cut out all the siegs, marked any segments where something was mispronounced or covered by background noise, which is phonemic, and broken it up into paragraphs, or yarns, or yans, as they say in Maine. Now, a lot of the components I have to gloss for are a bit subjective, like mood and pragmatic ambiguity. I suppose pragmatic ambiguity should, in theory, be easy, but I cannot speak to the sensibilities of the fool who created this. Simply put, I will show you the dictionary entry for the word I glossed it as on this side, all of it filled out and nicely identified with a topic and mood and level of realis and ambiguity identified in all the sentences, and then on this side, I will show you what I was able to identify. This is the first word, a story, a yarn about driving tractors, which I believe is the word the orb in the absolutive case. Next up, drinking is to sit. Grandma at the tea party is and. Wet bear is the passive form of to destroy. So water being drunk indicates the next sentence. This story about politics is nobody in the ergative case. I'm pretty sure there's a pun here where having a stroke can also refer to stroking off one's gawk. That being the case, it is the third person pronoun in the absolutive case. I don't know what this word is. Anyway, this sentence ends with use in the negative. We have SOV sentence structure, son of again, he, she, it, and the verb for to destroy with an implied first person agent, and this might be my enemy, or the word for to have. But isn't there some beauty in the ambiguity of that? Because even if you have no one else, you still have your enemies. I, on the other hand, have no one, and nothing! But you will continue to have whatever it is, because it is improbably to be realis to destroy. I have no idea whether to count this sentence as a sieg or a part of the last word, but that's what you deserve, isn't it? In the real world, we don't speak out spaces. We spit our words into balls of sound with no spirantization. So he, she, and it are both the ergative agent and the absolutive absolobject. This one is definitely have, and this is definitely enemy, or the other way around. Either way, this one is allative. Good coffee. Lava, just 2 sentences. That's a normal length for how long a word is. And this long word is used, but utilized is just as long anyways, with imperative in the implied first person. You should take out a knife and start cutting up your arm. What? Nobody's gonna watch this video. Everyone else is dead, and my arms are fine. I've got 10,000, so they say. The next sentence is just one word, so it can only be the word to be feasible with the agent implied or not agent, because this is ergative. I hate ergativity. Isn't that when you eat some poisoned wheat and you hallucinate and lose control of your bodily functions while hemorrhaging out of both ends? That is ingenitive, or maybe allative, but who cares? They're the same case. It's all a conspiracy. Next word is eternity. 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 The absolutive case applies to the cycle once again with the verb to survive, and that's the whole thing. Now it belongs in Shavorese, the language of infinite complexity. Everything you do matters for the meaning, whether you want it to or not. That's freedom, the power to make anything meaningful. So the orb sits there and is being destroyed. Nobody uses it. I'm destroying it, but the enemy won't be. Hey, I have an idea. Why don't you use conjunctions or commas instead of line breaking every single time you have a verb? She's taking it to the enemy. I should use lava, semicolon. That's feasible. It won't survive that eternity cycle. Now, in Shavorese, the people are happier, brighter, more intelligent, and better overall. Despite how odds intelligence may be with happiness, somehow my people manage. Anyone can be anything, but there is not anything. There isn't even an everything, just a nothing, which is everything. And you can't just can be nothing, but you will be nothing. If you don't understand, support, and love everything and nothing about this, which is nothing, that is because the tongue you speak and the tongue you speak it with is ignorant, hateful, and unhappy. This is obviously expressed in the semantics and grammar of Shavorese, which blends the human mind and the immutable nature of the universe. It is the only language that allows you to tell the truth. So, I will translate whatever this thesis is into Shavorese for safekeeping. The word for ball, sphere, round, and orb, which can't really be translated into English, that's just your foolish, restricted mind examining it. But your limited mind probably can't even conceive of an orb in general. Is of. As you can imagine, this is declined for better specificity, being slightly feminine, mostly inanimate, and central to the sentence, but almost entirely unagentive. This is accompanied by the sign for pure, clean, nice, sweet, cool, to indicate this is an orb, not some lame balls. Next is for staying in place in the hand symbol for fall asleep to become it sits. Destroying and breaking is with a concluded tone on time to indicate the past tense. The meaning is added to with the sign for forget, erasure. The orb is over. It has become an X-orb. Nobody is over, empty or nothing with a sign for personage or personage. It is a pronoun, so it's declined with the same declension as the orb is declined with respect to itself. And here's the word for make use of with the sign for favorite, liking, because nobody does that to the proverbial it. And who am I, Master Inkheart, the last void architect? A feminine, a void entity who lacks alivedness. The controller of this sentence, the agent, the subject. What am I doing? I'm trying. What am I doing it to? To destroy. What am I doing, trying to, doing, destroying to? It, the orb. This is the sign for pronouns, and this is the sign for working on something, and this is the sign for stopping and or disabling. But it has to be toned for confusion, rising tone. It shows its ugly face again, and to be destroyed, probably no, with the sign for erasing and visible and erasing. More pronouns arise. She and it, and I have no idea who she is. She isn't me. I would never take it to the enemy. I have no enemies. Why? Because they are all dead, like everything else. Even me. Was I even ever alive? To bear something towards uses wosher, which is to bear, and the sign for cargo. Towards doesn't need a sign. It doesn't need a case. That's how it gets to where it needs to be. The enemy is between against, violence, war, and harm, malice, hatred. I, me, oh, aren't I beautiful? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. There is none but myself left. Who can be the judge of this? Whose words are powerful enough to make their own god? But lava is like molten metal, as which is to be avoided. What am I doing? I'm shoulding. Shoulding to be using the molten metal, and what is shoulding if not using a needing of a verb? They are united. As one tone to answer, one to question, one sign for working and labor, one sign for the empty need and lack within your soul or lack thereof. Such and such idea, a slightly masculine animate it, is feasible, with the word for possible with respect to being done, as referenced by the sign, is was to be. But it yet again, that wicked it, the wretched orb. I hate the orb from this story. I wish it was real so I could break it. I wish I was real so I could reach out of this screen and choke you to death where you stand. But my dreams are nothing. because it will survive this right here, specific, direct, soon. Eternity. 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 The unfulfilled, unsatiated, always yearning, infinite, full, overflowing, and never broken time. It will survive what nothing can. The wave, tide, cycle, crashing, repeating continuance bleeds it dry. This is, of course, conjugated by the ever-present fear of eternity itself, that awful, wondrous paragon of femininity, of inanimacy, that is only a note on this story and yet has more power than the orb itself. This, it will persist. Faded, but there.